Again, I may not get this right first time, but I am hoping that after this, then all other references to the blade of grass can be deleted. So this is the final version, and that is looking okay to me. And now I'm going to start all over again. So we're going to say A, delete all of that, go to 7, and we will introduce a plane first off. First off though, let's take off proportional editing, and we're going to introduce a plane. So that's going to be Shift A, and there's a plane, and by default these things are 2 meters all around. We don't want that, so if we go into object mode, then the X wants to be about 0.03 and the Y wants to be about 0.3, and there's no dimension on the Z, there's no size on the Z. So let's increase that a little. Now then, next point is to introduce some horizontal loop cuts. So we'll tab into edit mode, and we'll do a Control R, and then give ourselves 5 loop cuts horizontally. Check and select again. That's those all selected. Okay. And then we will, I'm just trying to remember, was it at this point that the vertical line was introduced, or did we do the proportional editing first? Resuming, my feeling is that we did the vertical loop cut first before we did any of the proportional editing. So I'm going to do, still in edit mode, I'll do a Control R again. I need to highlight the whole thing maybe. Control R, and introduce our vertical loop cut. Click and click. And now with that highlighted, would that be right? If we go into proportional editing, and we want it sharp. Yes, that was probably because we want this sharp point, don't we? And this, first off, it's a scale in the X direction, not a G move, G grab. It's a scale S. So we will do S, and at this point, the kind of scope of the proportional edit appears. That radius there, and at the moment we're told it's 0.04. That's not right. Don't want that at the moment. Don't want that. Let's do it. So maybe that's premature. So we want a scale with an x-axis. So that's not doing the right thing. That is not doing the right thing. Okay, we're only going to pause now because I am struggling to remember what it was that caused just the... Oh, I know what it is. Right, it's because I've got the wrong thing selected. I need to have this selected. With that in place, we've got our proportional edit and we've got our sharp. So that means that the other vertices to a degree will be dragged around as we drag these. So we're going to do, so we've got our O and our sharp. So the next thing we want to do is to scale. For this one, we want a scale in the X direction, and it's interesting. I thought that was slightly different before, but what we've got there, 0.16. Okay, I guess that's good enough. I'm going to click and click, and there's our point. Okay, we're going to do the same thing again at this end. So we'll highlight the 3 bottom vertices. We're still doing sharp, I believe, and we're again going to do an S and an X, and we'll drag this in a little bit, not quite as exaggerated, but we'll stick with the proportional size 0.16. So that's that bit. The next thing is to highlight all of and only the central, the set of vertices there. Let's pause to think again. And with those edited, with those highlighted, the central ones, we can go into the 3 view. Oops, wrong focus. Might have to come back and redo that. Select 3. Okay, and now we've already changed over to sharp. No, we want smooth now. I seem to remember she was talking about projected view. I can't remember the specifics of that or what the inference was. Okay, so although it looks as though, only this is highlighted, I think that's simply because the highlighted points are obscured by these ones to the side down here. Okay, so now we want to do not an S this time, but a move G. And we're at, what's our proportional edit size here? 0.5 was a bit too big. I can't remember what size she was using, but whatever, it's fine. And what's interesting is, shouldn't move that, is that this the outer white circle here is not at all in sync with exactly within the the centre of that outer white circle does not overlap with the centre of that red and white circle. I don't know how it's made its decision. Okay, so I will now do, are we at the G point? Don't know, so we'll do a G and a Z and move that down. It doesn't feel like that's working. Okay, let's stop that. Let's try a G and a Z again. Let's say that's what we want. Then what? I'm dragging it now, but I'm not sure. Now I'm having doubts. If we have a look at that, there's a tiny indent, but it's not right, is it? So let's go back to our central view, highlight it again, do the 3. Our seems to move down a heck of a lot there. I'm tempted to move it back up to that center point. So if I was to go back into object mode and select it, then drag it G for drag it back up there. And then we've got that. Goodness knows what that dot's doing there. No idea. So go back into edit mode, go into 7 and 3. Already looks as though it's been deformed. What the heck is that? I have no idea. Fine. So now going to again do. Sorry, what does 7 look like? Yeah, it's not highlighted. I need to re-highlight that. Come down here, and what I want to do now is back to 3. Proportional editing, soft. Go for a G and a Z. Move it down. Why is it taking so long to take an effect? I'm going to have to compare this with a video because this is puzzling to me. And if we now look at what we got, well, we've got something that's kind of right, but why did it need to go all the way down there? That I don't understand. Let's pause that again. So what I noticed in watching her video is that her, what is this thing called? The red and white thing, it's got a name, I can't remember what it is. But anyway, when she moved over to it, it was two things. One, it was dead center on that, and two, this thing wasn't here. So I think I'm going to have to go back to my, let's revert to the last copy. Are you doing anything? File, revert, okay. Have you stopped recording? That's annoying, you can't tell. Okay, I'm going to take a chance. Right, so we're a little bit back to where we were, so, but that's fine, I'm learning stuff. So we are going to go into edit mode, Control R, do 5 loop cuts, select those, Control R again, do 1 vertical loop cut, select that. Okay, and now we're going to start our proportional edit. First of all, it needs to be sharp. Yep, and we're going to highlight these top 3 here, and then we will say, it's not switched on, it's not blue. Not sure if it was before, but anyway. And having done that, we can now say, first one is a scale in the x-axis. So that's not right. No, that's not right. Because when you start out, that circle, that proportional edit circle is massive. So we need an S and an X, and then we've got to scroll for all your worth until that wheel comes in visible. And now we can, move, what we're looking at, 0.22, we were somewhat smaller than that, I think. Let's try the 0.18. Let's say that's good enough for that one. And down here, we want an S and an X and the proportional size, which you can change after you've done the S and the X evidently. Let's have it at 0.18, and if we move that in a little, actually feels as though that's good enough. Hell, okay. So now we've got that bit. I'm going to save that. Save as 5 this time. Okay, save as. Okay, in case we need to come back to that. Right, now if we highlight this vertical section, vertical line, set of vertices, then say 3. Okay, and this time we want soft, or smooth rather, and we will again say, so this time we're a G. Let's evidently just after pressing the G we can bring in this scrolly thing, but I'm still intrigued. As to why. Do that again. G and Z. Why is it over there? I don't understand that bit. So proportional size is 0.9. Where did I say it was previously? Can't remember now. Why does it have to go so far? Okay, let's go back to our revert. Okay, so this. Oh, right. So we want to be smooth rather. We want this to be. Pick too much. We want to pick all of these ones here. I may be missing a part of a video, but I didn't think I was. Then we do, with that selected in edit mode, do 3. Sorry, darling? You're trying to get a good night's sleep. Okay. And then we're going to do so it's a G, it's not a Z, not a scale. G, bring it, stop moving. Okay, that's a problem, isn't it? Don't move. Oh, interesting. Every time I press Control, stuff changes a bit. Control Z. Interesting. It's kind of weird, but anyway, it's fine. Can I just move it into the middle of that like that? Okay, then having done that, did I do a Z? Did I do a Z? GZ? G? Z? No, it doesn't feel right. It does not feel right at all. Escape that again. Oh well, we might as well play with it. So we've got 7. Again, highlight our vertical line there. Go to 3. And then go to G. Am I scrolling at this point? GZ. See, it expands it there, but is it because it's probably because that little thing is I need to bring it in way more. I wonder if it's because her, is that possible? Because her scale is so much larger than mine, because I'm working with, maybe she was 0.3 and 0.03. Okay, let's go back again. I'm going to revert again. Revert. Okay, select that again. Do a 3. Now, if I now say I'm on proportional edit, and I do a G, and if I bring that way in, but I still don't understand why it's off center. And then there, say I start to drag it down. I don't entirely understand how that all works, but fine. Interesting. So the smaller I make it, the higher up the side of the blade goes. Okay. So it's quite exaggerated there, I imagine. And in fact, it's not quite a straight Z. It's a bit off center. I'm going to click, left click, move around, and I'd say that's okay. So at nearly 20 minutes, I think that's a blade of grass.